lot of time, what sets a movie apart from the others is not only having a superb protagonist, but having a superb antagonist. While the movie will be applauded and loved for having a great hero, the movies that are really remembered are the ones that had great villains. We've had unforgettable villains like the Joker, Sebastian Shaw,
adapt to this.
the Green Goblin, Doc Ock,
Hello, Peter.
and Bane.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
These villains and the performances by their actors really push their films into a completely different stratosphere and really immortalize their roles. But of all the villains that we have seen across all media, across all superhero films, across DC and Marvel, no villain stands out more than Thanos. While having the fight between good and evil be black and white is always an interesting tale, seeing a villain who truly straddles the line, who rides that gray area, who believes that they are the hero is one of the best sights to see. I don't mean to sound hyperbolic, but Josh Brolin's Thanos is single-handedly the best supervillain ever put to the silver screen. And yes, with all respect to Heath Ledger, rest in peace, he is even better than Heath Ledger's Joker. Josh Brolin captures something magnificent with Thanos. Let's go ahead and take a look at Thanos in the MCU and break down why he's so fantastic. Our introduction to Thanos comes 4 years after the commencement of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the Avengers film. Thanos is in the post-credits scene being spoken to by one of his followers and given an update on what happened with Loki and the attack on the Avengers in New York. We get no spoken lines, and at this time Thanos is actually played by a different actor. Initially, the mocap for Thanos was done by Damien Poitier, who later played additional roles in the MCU as a merc in Captain America Civil War. Ultimately, I believe the change was for the best. The next time we see Thanos, he is being played by Josh Brolin. He is threatening Ronan the Accuser for his failure in retrieving one of the Infinity Stones for him so that he can kickstart his plan to decimate half of life across the entire universe. The scene is pretty impactful because Ronan is no pushover, and Thanos callously threatens him and lets him know that he's dealing with a much bigger force than he is.
I only ask that you take this matter seriously. The only matter I do not take seriously, boy, is you. I shall honor our agreement, Kree, if you bring me the order. But return to me again empty-handed, and I will bathe the Starways in your blood.
After that, we see him in another end credit scenes at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, when he finally decides that he needs to move forward and enact his plan to retrieve all of the Infinity Stones. He is seen recovering the Infinity Gauntlet that was created by the dwarves that created Thor's hammer. Now, for this point, for him to be the magnum opus, the big bad of the entire MCU, we really have only had so many interactions with Thanos, so in Infinity War, he had to really make a big impression. He had to come on the scene and make himself known, and he did that beautifully. Thanos starts the film in the most somber way possible. There's no music, there's no sound, but the sound of a distress call from the Asgardian ship. And when you come in, you see he's beaten Thor and decimated half of the Asgardian population without the Infinity Gauntlet. Then he proceeds to beat down the Incredible Hulk with an amazing amount of ease. And after his assault ends, he just collects the Infinity Stone and leaves the remaining half of the Asgardians alive. And that's another aspect of Thanos that is just incredible. His ability to be so disciplined and merciful. He explains it when he meets Doctor Strange. He saw that his home planet Titan was heading towards starvation and famine because of overpopulation, and he told everyone the only way they're going to get out of it was to sacrifice half of society.
Titan was like most planets. Too many mouths, not enough to go around. And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Genocide.
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman. And what I predicted came to pass.
And he shows that restraint over and over throughout the film. He only takes what he needs, and he doesn't kill people unnecessarily. When he gets the Reality Stone, he attacks the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he only knocks down Drax and Mantis, and he doesn't kill Star-Lord. Even during the attack on Titan, he kills none of the heroes that attack him. Not Doctor Strange, not Iron Man, not Spider-Man, none of them. He had the capability to, but he chose not to. He showed honor and he showed restraint. Once Doctor Strange offered the Time Stone to him, that was all he wanted. He retrieved that and he left.
Stop! Spare his life, and I will give you the stone.
One to go.
Why would you do that?
And in the final confrontation, the only one that directly died as a result of his actions before the final snap was Vision, because he needed the Infinity Stone housed in his head. And then after the final snap, once he eliminated 50% of life across the entire universe, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He didn't seek additional conquest with the Infinity Stones. He went to his farm and he sat down and smiled because he believed in his heart that he did the right thing, that he was the hero, that he had saved lives because of his actions.
And then what?
I finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Thanos spends the entirety of Infinity War going through a lot and making sacrifices just to reach that end goal of bringing his version of peace and prosperity to the universe. He loses all of his followers. He has to kill his favorite daughter Gamora, but in the end, he still looks happy and he still looks satisfied. And if that isn't an amazing villain, I don't know what to tell you. Then in the sequel, Avengers Endgame, the Avengers figure out a way to travel back in time and obtain the Infinity Stones to undo Thanos' snap. And in the pursuit of that goal, unfortunately, Thanos becomes aware of his future and travels to the future to attempt to stop the Avengers and enact his plan. After Thanos and his entire army face off against the entirety of the Avengers and a bunch of wizards and Wakandans and Asgardians, he is defeated, and Anthony Edward Stark obtains all of the Infinity Stones in the Infinity Gauntlet that he created and snaps away Thanos and the entirety of his army. But if you look at the end, Thanos looking around at the result of the battle, looking at his army, his children, all of his followers die, he doesn't look angry. He doesn't look dejected. He looks disappointed. Because he thought he was right. He looks sad because in his mind he was the hero and the villains just beat him and he failed. And that's what makes Thanos such a brilliant villain. Thank you so much for watching. Behave yourself.